At its peak, WeWork was valued at $47 billion. Investors called it the future of work. Adam Neumann, the eccentric founder, was hailed as a visionary who could reshape not only offices, but the very way we live. But just months later, it all came crashing down. The IPO was canceled, the company's value plummeted, and Neumann was ousted in disgrace. How did the world's most hyped startup go from changing the world to one of the most infamous collapses in corporate history? This is the rise and fall of WeWork. Welcome to the Collapse Files. Adam Neumann arrived in New York City in the early 2000s. He was a dreamer, a hustler, and, by his own admission, someone chasing success on a massive scale. He dabbled in odd ventures at first. He tried selling baby clothes with padded knees. He pitched strange ideas that never stuck. But in 2010, alongside Miguel McKelvey, he stumbled on something bigger. The two founded WeWork. On the surface, it was simple: rent large office spaces, renovate them, and lease desks to startups and freelancers. But Adam didn't sell it as real estate. He sold it as a movement, a revolution. WeWork, he said, is about community. It's about people working together, living together, changing the world together. Investors loved it. The media called it the future of work. And for entrepreneurs looking for a stylish alternative to cubicles, WeWork felt like a dream. Within just a few years, WeWork expanded globally: New York, San Francisco, London, Shanghai. Offices weren't just offices anymore. They were trendy hubs with free beer, yoga classes, and sleek glass walls. But Adam wanted more. WeWork wasn't just about workspaces. It would become WeLive, shared apartments. WeGrow, a private school. There was no limit to what the We brand could touch. Investors bought in. The charismatic Neumann, often barefoot, spouting phrases like elevating the world's consciousness, convinced backers that WeWork wasn't a real estate company. It was a tech company. That label changed everything. Instead of being valued like a landlord, WeWork was valued like Facebook or Google. Then came SoftBank's Masayoshi Son. After a single meeting, Son handed Adam billions, reportedly telling him to be crazier. With SoftBank's vision fund behind him, WeWork's valuation skyrocketed: $10 billion, $20 billion, $47 billion. On paper, it looked unstoppable, but behind the glossy branding, cracks were already forming. WeWork's business model was deceptively simple and deeply flawed. The company signed long-term leases on expensive office spaces, often lasting 10 or 15 years, but it rented them out short-term, month by month. If demand ever slowed, WeWork would be stuck paying billions in rent with no income to cover it, and slow down it did. The more WeWork grew, the more money it lost. By 2018, the company was burning through nearly $2 billion a year. Meanwhile, Adam Neumann was treating WeWork like his personal kingdom. He sold the trademark for the word "we" back to his own company for nearly $6 million. He bought buildings, then leased them to WeWork. He threw extravagant parties, flew around in private jets, and preached about consciousness while pocketing hundreds of millions. Inside the company, employees described a cult-like atmosphere, complete with alcohol-fueled retreats, chanting, and Neumann proclaiming that WeWork would last for generations. But the financial truth couldn't stay hidden forever. In 2019, Adam decided it was time to take WeWork public. And that's when everything unraveled. When WeWork filed for its IPO in August 2019, the public finally saw the numbers. And they were shocking. Billions in losses. No clear path to profitability. Confusing buzzwords like community-adjusted EBITDA. And page after page of Neumann's bizarre leadership decisions. The media tore it apart. Investors fled. Within weeks, the IPO went from one of the most anticipated offerings in years to being called the most disastrous IPO filing in history. WeWork's valuation collapsed, from $47 billion to less than $10. Adam Neumann's image as a visionary cracked wide open. Reports emerged of his wild behavior, smoking weed on private jets, declaring he wanted to live forever, and even musing about becoming president of the world. In September 2019, Neumann was forced to resign as CEO. SoftBank stepped in with a bailout, but even they couldn't save the dream. WeWork laid off thousands of employees. Expansion plans died overnight. The company limped along, but the damage was permanent. In 2023, WeWork finally filed for bankruptcy. A company once worth nearly $50 billion was reduced to rubble. And Adam Neumann? He walked away with nearly $2 billion in payouts and stock sales, richer than ever. So what can we learn from the collapse of WeWork? First, branding can't cover bad fundamentals. Calling yourself a tech company doesn't matter if you're just renting real estate. Second, investors must question the story. If something sounds too good to be true, it probably is. Third, charismatic founders can inspire, but they can also mislead. Vision without discipline is chaos. And finally, growth at all costs is not success. It's a ticking time bomb. WeWork was a cautionary tale, one that reminds us how hype, money, and ambition can build an empire, and just as quickly, destroy it. WeWork wasn't the first billion-dollar dream to collapse, and it won't be the last. Next time, we'll uncover how one woman convinced investors, scientists, and even U.S. presidents that she could test your health with just a drop of blood. This is the story of Theranos.